Everywhere I come from, the truth is an irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are the workers of the call. Now by area, why no better? We are the workers of the call. One guy's area, why no better? Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what's I see so. Now your friend on a nine come at them. Only papi obeka nice and yeah. So I want one over you two. Everybody was afraid. And when you nan to my cottage again nine. Once my boy dumping one and I see. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Akuku drofo nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow mansa to me bia kakobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo wanyina ye. Na so kutrata down na so bidia back or why no keke. Afene fo be manu mo piafo efo ne cross on my mo. Anya safwe muayini. Akuku drofo nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachisa udi oma upipi numa. Would your mind never shine my preference? But who go tell the truth? TUC, silence. Even journalists, silence. So then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong. No matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you. Now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Hello once again and good evening and welcome to MyView show on today's Ghana News TV. This is our social political program that comes your way every Monday, but today is a special edition with a focus on the UK and Ireland chapter. It is my pleasure once again to welcome you to this program, and wherever you are watching MyView show live on today's Ghana News TV with me, Jerome, as your host. And let me remind you that we are equally live on Switch by satellite, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all on today's Ghana News TV. And you can equally follow us on Twitter and TikTok, as well as podcasts on Anchor FM. What is the role of the diaspora in fulfilling the theme of the National Democratic Congress of Rallying for Victory 2024, Ghana's Hope? That the diaspora have a role to play? And if it does, what is the significance of the Executive Committee of the NDC in the diaspora? Here we are this evening. We want to have a discussion with one of the aspirants to the Executive Committee position in the UK and Ireland chapter. Wherever you are, it's my pleasure once again to welcome you on behalf of my producer, Seth Adi. And wherever it is, remember, it's always good to come your way in the evening with your view. I will share my view, we'll take your view, and we'll take the view of our host, our guest this evening. Once again, you are most welcome and stay tuned.
Waiting there happy for Africa. Dusty old men holding on to power, leading the people to where? The grave? Wicked criminal leaders. See them a come, them coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why a thieving so? Thief man, why a thief so? The people they must suffer, but you don't care so. Thief man, why a thief so? I see the people crying every day, yo. They want food, them can't find. I see the youth looking for a job, oh, every way, them can't find. Mr. President, him just belly full, oh. Him and his family, they no suffer, oh. Suffer, no poor man they suffer, oh. Suffer, rich man go they suffer. Suffer, no poor man they suffer, oh. Suffer, rich man they suffer, lie. See them a come, they coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why a thieving so? Thief man, why a thief so? The people they must suffer, but you don't care so. Thief man, why a thief so? Mr. President, why you dey lie so? Before election, you tell me you be angel. When you sick, you run go a London. When we sick, we die for Kolebo. Mr. President, why you wicked so? Tell me how you dey sleep at night, oh. See them a come, they coming like an angel. But them a thief, them no say them a thief. Mr. President, you coming like a savior. But you a thief, you know say you a thief. Thief President, why a thieving so? Thief man, why a thief so? The people they must suffer, but you don't care so. Thief man, why a thief so? This is Mr. Traitor, Mr. President, Master of Sleeping, Mr. Sleepy. This is Mr. Traitor, Mr. President, Master of Sleeping, Mr. Sleepy. Yarambarayi Fiafiwo Alakpatowo Nayeruyaya.
That was a powerful music coming all the way from Black Rasta, and that welcomes all of us into the show, My View Show, on today's Ghana News TV. And as I did indicate at the beginning, we want to look at the contribution of the executive committee membership of the NDC in the diaspora towards the goal of Rallying for Victory 2024. And it's my pleasure to welcome to the show this evening no other person but Mr. Francis Torto, who is going for the position of the vice chairman of the chapter. Honorable Francis, you are most welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, my brother Jerome. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Great. And we are more than delighted to have you this evening to have a bit of discussion. Before we delve into our own program, I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to know a bit about you. Who is Francis, and what does Francis stand for?
I'm very, very sure that a lot of people have had various diverse careers in their life. So, without wasting too much time, I would briefly say a few words about who Francis is. Francis Torto is a chartered engineer with about 25 years experience in highways and transportation. He's a dedicated and committed member of the NDC UK and Ireland chapter. And Francis Torto has been a supportive and also man on the ground type of NDC supporter. Francis Torto, the man, believes in equality, believes in fairness, believes in promoting diversity, and believes in women emancipation and empowerment. I am a keen social democrat and clearly believe in actually ensuring that the systems that we put in place, both in our own motherland, Ghana, and across the world, actually benefit the majority of people within the world that we live in. So it's very, very important for me to see that the resources that we have are shared in an equitable way. It's very, very important for me to be benevolent to charities that we have so that those who are less fortunate than ourselves can benefit from the blessings that we have. And it's very, very important for me to see that the governance across the world for all countries are geared towards making the lives of the majority of their populations better. So that is what Francis Toto, in short, stands for.
Wonderful. In your introduction, you mentioned something about social democrats. I keep hearing this. NDC is a social democratic party, and what about all this social democracy or this social democrats? What is it all about? I don't know. I keep hearing it every day, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot more people there who will say that what does it really stand for in terms of NDC? Because with the MPP, we know there are property owning democracy and all that. NDC say they are social democrats. What does that imply?
It definitely, I think the social democratic ideology for a variety of people mean various things, but it's an ideology that comes from the premise that the wealth that each country has should be utilized to benefit the majority of people in that country. And so, where measures are being put in place, those measures, from a social democratic principle, should aim to put measures in place that the majority and the less disadvantaged, in most instances, maximize their improvement from that. On the other hand, you have the capital owning democracies where people own properties, capital, money. When they do better, they then trickle some of their profits down to the masses. We believe as social democrats that the policies that we set must benefit the broad majority of the population, and that our policies must be social policies that engender every sector of the population, or every fraction of the population, or every group of the population, and reaches out to most people. So where we're looking at actually building capital, we want to make life easier for the least in our society. We want to put in policies that reach out and deal with the lives of those majority citizens who haven't been able to um, do the things that we, by God's grace, have been fortunate to do. So our policies would focus on, from a social democratic people, focus on stuff like electrification, which majority of people benefit from, stuff like water purification and providing water to a larger stretch of the population. And that just typifies what we believe to be the right way to govern a country, which is that when you have the country's resources as a social democrat, you look at the best ways in which the majority of the people in that country will benefit. And that's where that socialist principle comes from, which is you are
Wonderful.
my brother's keeper.
Yeah, this is a beautiful explanation. Honestly, I never understood it. I've been hearing it every day, and I've been wondering what difference does it really make from the between the two major political parties that we have in the country. But let's now come down to UK and Ireland chapter. You're running for the position of the vice chairman. That's interesting. Why the vice chairman?
Why the vice chairman? I think the reason why I actually decided to contest for the position of the vice chairman is that the vice chairman has a very important role. The role of the vice chairman is to support, to give advice, to work behind the scenes, and also to ensure that there is cohesion and to ensure that there is a general movement within the executive body to channel our resources and everything that we can do towards Agenda 2024 in a positive, in a coherent, and in an effective way. So I chose that role because I think I'm best placed in the area of giving advice, strategizing, bringing people together, and then ensuring as a good team player, getting all of us to sing to the same hymn sheet. And I think that is one of the reasons why I decided to contest. I've been in the chapter for a very long while. I've supported the chapter in a variety of ways over the last 12, 13, 14 years. And it's got to a stage where the experience that I've gained over these years of being with the party and supporting the party and helping the party, I think I'm best placed to put at the service of our people in the UK and Ireland.
Wonderful. So if you look at in our Republic of Ghana, invariably the vice president of the republic happens to be the head of the economic management team. It's just by convention, it's not by constitution, you
Yes.
know. So we come back to the UK and Ireland chapter. So it means that there are areas that which areas will be assigned to the vice chairman specifically?
I think the areas that there ain't no hard and fast rules about areas which the vice chairman is ring fenced to, but traditionally, branch expansion and fundraising have typically gone to the vice chairman to oversee and to help with. And these are two areas in which I think I can add value.
Wow. So going by that, well, there have been a number of vice chairmen before, and then you are coming up. I think if you look at the, no, I wouldn't say your immediate past because they are still in office, right?
Yes.
How do you rate the form or the current vice chairman? I don't know if he or she is running again, but how do you rate the output of the current vice chairman in relation to the working conditions with the chairman and the entire executive?
Oh, our current vice chairman is excellent. She's a very decent, honest, and well-meaning person. My relationship with her is cordial. She's a woman that I respect, and certainly I, as one of my key values of actually empowering and promoting the journey of women within politics itself as a whole, being one that I can actually refer others to look to. As an example, she's been very effective in her role. I have sat in several meetings with her, and I have the utmost respect for our vice chairman. I think our vice chairman decided not to run again, and
Okay.
I sought her permission to put my heart into the ring. I don't have anything at all that I can say about her that is negative. She's a shining example
Good.
of
And
a
then
leader.
if I go back a little, you said specifically, but not by convention, the vice chair leads the fundraising and expansion of branches within the chapters. Has this been a significant key role or key achievement of the current vice?
Yes, the current vice has done remarkably well. We've had a number of fundraising efforts which she's led. We've managed under her stewardship to actually make significant contributions to the mother party back home during elections and during COVID. And her record is impeccable.
Wonderful. Now, what will Francis do differently from the current vice chairman?
I wouldn't put it, what would Francis do differently? But I think the way I'd put it is, how would Francis approach things? I think the word different sometimes connote negativity in some shape, but how would I approach things? There are three key things. Assuming we go with the premise of Francis leading on branch expansion and leading on fundraising, then there are three key things that I would like to do. It's really to intensify our efforts at organizing fundraising events and to see how best we can reach out to businesses within the community who are sympathetic to our cause, who can help. I think I would like to help in forming a group of fundraising ambassadors who are well trained, if potentially give them training about the best practice in fundraising, and then set them out to work in conjunction with a fundraising committee to try and attract inward investment. I mean, fundraising itself is something that most people do on a daily basis, but there are good ways of doing it and bad ways of doing it. And so proper training and getting ambassadors who are properly trained to actually go out there and seek people, explain why we need the money, explain the benefits to both ourselves and our donors of actually helping the causes that we set will be very, very useful. A key thing is that we've always done fundraising for specific goals, but one of the things that I hope to inject if I'm actually elected as a vice chair is actually to keep fundraising as a standing item. We need money all the time. And so your fundraising efforts to look at your long-term aspirations as well as your short-term aspirations. And so that would factor in the way in which we structure our fundraising committee and the way in which we go about fundraising.
Good. Then let me take you a step further again.
Okay.
I have a bit of a concern with the relationship between the diaspora and your mother party in Ghana. How has it been? And what do you think? Are you okay with it? The relationship between the mother party and the NDC in the diaspora. Are you satisfied with it? If no, what can we do differently?
Oh, my brother. The first thing I like to say is that we are all one family, and nobody is going anywhere. Nobody is going anywhere. We sing the song of unity. We sing the song of teamwork. We sing the song of having a common purpose. Of course, in every family, there are differences of opinion and differences of views. That does not mean that the family doesn't work together towards its main goals and causes. It's impossible to have a grouping of people that don't have different ideas or different ways of doing things because they've all grown from different houses, they've had different life experiences, they've had different parentage, and they've come from different backgrounds. And so you can't expect everybody. But one of the things that is very clear about ourselves and the mother party is that we are united in our quest to send the elephant back into the bush. We are united in our quest to make the lives of Ghanaians better. We are united in our quest to expose the fact that as of now, we don't have one district, one family. one district, one village, one dam, one district, one factory, no family. The families are plenty. They keep growing, but there are no factories for them to work in.
Okay.
Our key quest is, is to work together in order to alleviate the suffering of our masses, which has gone from bad to worse. And that is made even more pressing because of our social democratic principles, which is to ensure that the grassroots of our country, the majority of the people in the country, benefit from what the country has got to offer. That doesn't appear to be the case now. And that gives us very, very good grounds to work together as one solid team, both in the diaspora and back with the National Party, to send the elephant right back into the bush where it belongs.
Yes, you want to send the elephant back to the bush. It's very clear that yes, that is the motive to send the elephant back to the bush so that people can benefit. But in coming to that, you made a statement that the grassroots, you want the grassroots to be part and parcel of what you are putting up there. Has the NDC taken any policy to place their grassroots in a proper shape so that subsequently they can always support a party and be willing to go out there to fight for you to send the elephant back to the bush?
Yes, I mean, the NDC as a party has been a party that has actually been built on grassroots support. It's one of the parties that is non-tribal, and it's one of the parties that has a very wide appeal. Our grassroots, through the work that various members and benefactors of the party have done, have actually enjoyed being part of our party. Support doesn't come from one person within the party. And so I would say that because we are all rallying round to ensure that the grassroots who actually do the work on the ground in promoting our ideology, in promoting the work that we do, are supported well. And this support doesn't come from one source. Um, the branches do their work, the regions do their work in supporting the grassroots, and national do their work in supporting the grassroots. As you know, when you go to our party headquarters, from time to time, we've met there, you see there are people waiting there all the time. The party supports its people. The party donates. The party visits funeral, goes to funerals. The party visits people on social occasions to show their solidarity. All of that is part of the efforts that the party is doing to ensure that the grassroots all know that we are there as, when I mean we, the party as a whole. I am, you are, and all others who are sympathizers and members of this party are there to support each other. We in the UK have funerals, a way of showing our grassroots support. When people have births, christenings, we all attend in our numbers to sympathize with them. There's so many of our people that have passed. And in fact, the feedback we've got from the UK about the support we give to each and every member in times of need and difficulty has been exemplary, and will
I think
continue to do so.
that is the immediate benefit of membership of the party, especially in the diaspora. And if I become a member of your party, and the immediate benefit that I will expect is that in terms of want or in terms of need, or I run into any difficulty, you should be available to support me. Because at the end of the day, we are not directly, those of us in the diaspora, we're not directly under the policies of the country or our party that runs the country when we are in government. So I quite agree with you on this. Unfortunately, the vice chairman only comes into play in the absence of the chairman, apart from your backroom staff. But what other areas do you think you can bring on board to support? Because you are for the fact that you are a member of the executive committee, you are putting everything together, and then you all succeed if you work together, or you all fail if you don't work together. What would Francis bring up to add to the entire executive committee?
I think the first thing that I would seek to add to the executive committee is actually to reinforce the value of unity and teamwork. The second thing that I would seek to inject into the executive committee is the benefits of collective responsibility. The third thing and final thing that I would like to inject into the executive committee is to know that we are all working towards the same goal. These three things are intertwined: teamwork and unity, collective responsibility, and a common sense of purpose. And so, what I would hope to bring to the table is always reminding my fellow brothers and sisters that we are all in this together. Always making the main purpose for which we've gathered our central beacon. We've all come from different walks of life because we all believe in one ideology. And any situation that we encounter, we should make what is best for our party and our people in Ghana and our citizens our priority. It's not about me, Francis Obudai Toto here, or you, Dr. Jerome there. No. It's about the people of Ghana and it's about our party. And once we have all of that in mind, then there is no way in which our efforts will not come to fruition. There's no way in which our executive body wouldn't be productive. As we stand, the UK body itself has done quite a lot within the diaspora and has done quite a lot within the UK in promoting the number of branches that we have, in ensuring that our membership dues are reduced, part of our social democratic principles, so that more people can join, in reaching out to Ghanaians at various Ghanaian functions. We've actually galvanized our people, and thank you to everybody who's donated to the UK, NDC, and Ireland. We've managed to contribute significantly to our 2020 elections. Some of us go home and help out during elections. So the UK is doing its bit. But in any organization, you don't rest on your laurels. You continue to improve. And so that is the reason why, if we've done all these things in the past, what we then look to do is to do them even better. It's going well now, and it would be better in future, because we are all going to be singing from the same hymn sheet. We are all going to understand the fact that we are there because of the party, and we are all going to work tirelessly towards our common goal. And our common goal is to bring our party back into power. The people that support us in doing so are people we value. The people that support us in doing so are people that we would engage. The people that support us in doing so are people that will get their buy-in, because they are the base on which we stand. So I would end by saying, united we stand and divided we fall. And as far as all of us are concerned, I think we're doing well in actually uniting ourselves towards the common goal that we've got. So I would give a lot of applause to our current chapter executives and the UK and Ireland body as a whole, because without each and every person's individual contributions, we wouldn't have been able to do what we've done today.
Wonderful. I'll let you relax a little and I'll take the comments from our viewers. But when we come back, there are three issues I want us to address before we get off. Because one, you have spoken about how your system is working very well and you have contributed. But unfortunately, you were not part of the last National Congress. So we'll take your view on that. You have spoken about reduction in your dues so that you can have people taking part and being able to be in good standing. But now we'll look at the filing fees, unofficial filing fees that is in the public domain for your parliamentary elections and for your presidential primaries. We want to look at it from the perspective of your social democratic principles? Is it not going to eliminate or is it not going to create a class system within your party? So I will take the comments, and when we come back, we will address these things. You are watching us live on today's Ghana News TV on the show MyView, and we are privileged to have Francis Torto, who is going for the position of the Vice Chairman of the UK Ireland chapter of the National Democratic Congress. So stay tuned. We'll take the views from our colleagues who are joining us from all over the world. And when we come back, we will continue with the show. Very good evening to you, Brimpong. We are always grateful that you are part of us. You say good job. Good job you guys are doing for NDC, watching from Warsaw, Poland. We are very grateful, Brimpong. Patience, our award-winning Darko. Greetings, watching from Hamburg, Germany. Patience, once again, very grateful. Eric Kwekusap, Sepenu. Oh, my goodness. Uncle Eric, we are very grateful that today you have joined us, watching you live. We are grateful that you are part and parcel of the show. Your friend is not around, but I know he will join. Nana Tafremu. Nana, always, as soon as I see Nana, then I know that we have information from Sakina Information Center. Ghana is very hot for us. Watching you live on YouTube from Tatali Northern Region, and you are equally live on Sakina Information Center. And we are very grateful that you are helping us to reach many more people. Grace talks. Mama Grace says, "Hi, good evening, comrades." Good evening to you, Mama Grace. We are grateful that you are part of the show this evening. Honorable Osei Superior, good evening, Dr. Jerome and your team, watching you from Barcelona, Spain. And Osei, we are very grateful. Kunti Nana, as usual. Watching you live on YouTube from Poland. My greetings to all viewers and today's Ghana News TV team. We receive it and we are very grateful. Gbenye Poya, you are waving us. We are grateful that you are waving us and you are part and parcel of the show. Stay tuned as always. Oh, Uncle Intiamwa, all the way from Dortmund. I salute you, comrades. Uncle, we are very grateful that you are part of the show this evening, and we'll always be part and parcel. Oh, Uncle Tom Nutako, fellow comrades, Toto. Uncle Tom, we are very grateful that you are part of the show this evening as well. Oh, Uncle Kweku is back. He says, Mr. Toto, aspiring vice chairman, does fundraising also connote accountability? How do you intend to handle this since poverty and accountability is the fundamental bedrock of the party? Oh, Uncle Eric, when we come back, I will let Toto answer this question. It is indeed a very vital question for him. Now, Grace Talks again says, Comrade Toto, please, how good has the UK and Ireland chapter helped the grassroots in Ghana? Well, that's a second question, and I know Comrade Toto will be able to answer that when we come back. Grace, again, good submission, Comrade Toto. Oh, Maxwell Nati, very good evening to you, Max, and good that you are part of the show. He says, good evening, General. My regards to Comrade Toto. I wish him all the best. And please, to our comrade, when you come on, share the video in other groups you join. Don't just be sharing it on NDC platforms. Our opponents must hear the message. Thanks. Thank you. That is very true. We will have to share more. Mariam Mahama says, more fire. Okay. Mariam, always sharing. Wonderful that you are part of the show this evening. And I think so far, so good. So we will bring back our comrade Francis, and then we'll look at the questions, especially the first question comes from Uncle Eric. Uncle Eric has a question for you, Comrade Toto. He says that aspiring vice chairman, is fundraising also connotes accountability. How do you intend to handle this, since probity and accountability is the fundamental bedrock of the party? What was your reaction?
Yes, my brother Jerome, you are very, very right in actually handling this question to me first. A very important question, and a question that merits an answer. As a social democrat, which is someone who wants to enhance the lives of the majority of the people that they serve or govern, accountability is crucial. Why is accountability crucial? Because if you want the effort that you put in to reach the majority of people, you must conserve the funding you have and spend it wisely. How do you spend funding wisely? When you spend funding wisely, you use funding for the purpose for which it benefits the most. And how do you account for this? Accountability is key by ensuring that everybody who's contributed to that funding or everybody who's a stakeholder, whether be it people who have contributed to it or not, know how the funding is spent. And to do that, what you do is actually ensure that there are good records. Ensure that when money is going to be allocated, that money is allocated on the basis of a consensus. So people don't decide exactly what they want to do with the money, but the money, they are custodians of the money. They are accountable. They are custodians. And what they do with that money is what the people who have put together the money or put them in that servant role decide the money should be used for. Usually through a lot of deliberation about way in which funding should be used, monies are used for what the groups that have put the money together think is best for the majority of them. And so being accountable is not only about recording financial facts and ensuring that those financial facts are transparent, but it's also ensuring that you listen to the people that have actually brought the funding together, that have actually donated, and ensuring that the funding that you do have when it comes to fundraising in that, from that perspective, is used for what the majority of people want. In that regard, I mean, I'm looking, by God's grace, if I'm given a chance to lead, to have a fact-finding tour. And this fact-finding tour will find out what the priorities of our members in the UK and Ireland is or are. And once you know what the priorities are, you then have a very clear idea of what is most important to the people that you govern. We all know we are fighting very hard to support our party back home. That's a key priority. The people in the UK and Ireland also have various priorities. And so being accountable is actually ensuring that all the funding that's raised is raised for specific purposes. All the funding that's raised is raised to deal with the priorities that we have both back home and here. And to crown it all, you need to have good procedures in place so that when monies are collected, they are properly accounted for. When monies are dispersed, they are properly accounted for. And what we aim to do is to ensure that our members are also kept abreast with this financial information all the time.
Wonderful. Grace Talks has a question, but I will take a follow-up question from Uncle Kweku once again. He did come up another one. He says, are you a team player? If you are, could you explain to us how you intend to do this? Angriku, I know definitely is from your chapter. So these are pertinent questions that they want you as an aspirant to answer and then to gain their confidence.
Yes. I think Uncle Eric is asking all the good questions. Without teamwork, you can't get good work. And why can't you get good work without teamwork? It's because no man is an island and you can't do everything by yourself. So am I a good team player? Yes, I'm a good team player. I'm a good team player because I listen to people. I'm a good team player because I don't think only what I want is what should govern the day. I'm a good team player because I work collaboratively with people. I listen to people, put forward ideas, take back ideas, learn, listen, and more importantly, unite people. Because I believe in a human capital. I believe that every individual has something to offer. And a team player must have that kind of mindset that you are not the most intelligent person in the world. It's not everything that you say that must go. And that you are one of a group of people who are all journeying towards a common goal. When you have that in mind, you learn to be flexible. When you have that in mind, you learn to build consensus. When you have that in mind, you learn to unite people, not dwelling on the things that people do that are not as that could be improved, but rather accentuating the things that they do that are positive. That is what a team player stands for. And that is what I intend to inject into the NDC. We are all good people. We are all playing a role. We all have different roles. Let's encourage each other. Let's nurture each other. Let's boost each other up. And let's see how all of us can help this our great party to be the party that we all want.
Wonderful. Somebody has even prompted me. I told you we'll come back to the class system that is creeping into your political party. But Grace Talks asked a question. Comrade Torto, please, how good has the UK and Ireland chapter helped the grassroots in Ghana?
Oh, that is a very common question. I think each and every individual from the UK chapter has helped the grassroots in a variety of ways. There's so many of us who support branches. I was in Ghana in my constituency in Bawenweja during election at branch meetings, make donations, go to constituency office, help with various things. This is only talking about me. Several of us do this in our own constituencies and in our own place. So by actually reaching out to through our constituency and through our branches and through our families, we help to support and encourage the grassroots within our country.
Wonderful. Now, I'm coming back to what I left with you during the break. I believe the figures that has been released, the filing fee for presidential, not the filing fee, just the nomination fee for presidential is 50,000 Ghana cedis. The filing fee is 500,000. Now you look at that of the parliamentary, I think the filing fee is 50,000. Now, if you look at that, what it simply means is that if you are not the rich type, with all your good ideas, you might be cut out. Yeah, social democrats, and you are introducing a class system. That is my thinking. And then I want your view on it. But before that, the bar also sent in a question. The bar, the creators manual. He says, "Good evening, Dr. Kwan. This is Comrade Ezunam from the Frankfurt branch. We are preparing to go for presidential elections. What is your view on the vote buying that has corrupted the elections?" So this essentially comes down there because indirectly, we heard a lot about it during the National Congress. Now we have it here. Okay, there's to elect the flag bearer. So it comes back to the same question. It's an issue of vote buying because it is the highest bidder that can find his or her way out. What is your view?
Oh, my view is just straight and simple. We are social democrats, and our principle is to ensure that each and every member of the country, aside of each and every member of our party, is emancipated and is free to choose and to decide. So anything that influences that decision is not something that I welcome. Supporting our grassroots is fine. Buying votes is not something that I would ascribe to.
So now let's look at what will be the contribution of diaspora, because you are going to become the vice chairman of the UK and Ireland chapter, and you are all in the diaspora. How will the diaspora contribute to correct this sort of impression or this sort of level that has crept into our body politic?
I think the diaspora over a period of time, and in fact, the National Party has actually been looking at this issue. And as you know, for quite a while, we actually introduced the concept of individual voting at our national congresses some time back. The view taken is that emancipating more of our members to be able to have an equal franchise would ensure that vote buying within the party itself, if it does happen, is curtailed. Nobody actually subscribes to buying a vote. People's franchises are meant to be exercised freely and are meant to be exercised on the premise of what is best for our party and what is best for the country, and not on the basis of how much individuals can get. And so this is an issue that has dogged the country for a while. based on the allegations that are being made here and there. I am not aware of any, so it's very, very difficult to comment to. But what I can say is that the more you devolve power, the more you actually extend the number of people that have the power to vote to elect leaders, the less you are likely to witness vote buying because you can't buy everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, Kamala says impressive submissions, Comrade Francis. Keep it up. And then Awal comes back. Good submission, Francis. Unfortunately, Uncle Eric is back. He said, with this astronomical filing fees, are we as a party auctioning the party to the highest bidder? Uncle, unfortunately, that is what it is. Yeah, because you can have all the good ideas, you can have all the strength and everything, but once you do not have the funds to get up there, it means that you are kicked out. That is what it is now. Uh, but social democrats, well, I pray you people, you are coming to be the executive. So as executives in the diaspora, you need to put your heads together and see how best you can fight it, or else it becomes a problem, a big problem. Now let's look at UK Ireland chapter. You are supposed to have your elections on the 14th of this month, I'm told, but unfortunately, it's no longer taking place on the 14th. Is that right?
That is the case.
What must have contributed to that?
There are a variety of factors, but in fact, the delay to the elections is purely to ensure that we hold free and fair elections and elections that are devoid of any suspicion. So, whilst personally I might not necessarily be joyful about the delay because of the inconvenience it causes, I'm also quite pleased that the reasons for the delay is to ensure accountability, is to ensure probity, is to ensure that the right checks are put in place to ensure that everybody who gets the franchise is entitled to and can duly exercise it.
Well, so it means a lot of things did not go right. And from where I sit, if things do not go right with us in the diaspora, how do we contribute for the development of the major party back home in Ghana?
Oh, no, my brother Jerome, sometimes people look at things, you can look at the glass half full or half empty. It's
Mhm.
not that things don't go right. You can decide to be very thorough in what you do, and that might take time, or you can shortcut a system, and that might be quicker. If the purpose for which we are deciding to take time is to ensure that those who are able to exercise their franchise are those that can, I think it's a good thing. If you are a Democrat and you believe in equality and you believe in fairness, you believe in accountability, probity, then these are fundamental principles that you must exercise throughout your political career, be it at elections or no. So the point I'm trying to make is that we are not cutting short any corners just to get an election. We are actually striving to get a fair, accountable, and an election that every member of the chapter can be proud of. And so, if that is what it is, then I would say you and I would say, yes, it's something worth sacrificing time for because our votes are very important, because our votes is all we have, and because our votes are valuable. And so, I wouldn't take it that everything is not in order. I'd rather say that we are doing a very good job by ensuring that everything that needs to be done to ensure that the elections themselves are done properly and that everybody who needs to be there is vetted properly is a good thing. I would be surprised if you say that is not good.
Yeah, you'll be very surprised that if I say that is no good. Surely I wouldn't say that is no good. But if that will cost you in your determination in who becomes your national executive, then it leaves cause to worry.
What we have to sometimes take into perspective is that the number of people that have to vote at our national congress as against the number of people in the UK that go to vote in our national congress. If all we think of that the people that have sacrificed their lives and worked in the building of a party in the UK should be compromised only because of the election of national executives, then I would say, well, maybe we need to think again. They say charity begins at home. You can't seek to not do things within your home and try to do it somewhere else. So what we are doing, I have nothing at all against it. We are ensuring that things are done right. We are ensuring that the elections are handled properly. And if that means that we are not being able to elect national officers, I think we should elect national officers when those within our ranks are fair that those that go to elect those officers are the rightful people to do so.
Wonderful. I think so. With this submission, you already have a vote from Grace Stokes. Unfortunately, she is not a member of the UK Ireland chapter. I'm pretty sure she will make a change and come over. Before I give you the opportunity to tell the membership of the UK Ireland chapter why they should vote for you or why they should select you among the three contestants to the position of the vice chairmanship. Some Uncle Eric has just drawn my attention to an event because so I think over the weekend you were at Birmingham for a program, and I didn't know the course of the program. I thought it was just an end of year program, but Uncle Eric draws our attention to it. He says that recently the UK and Ireland chapter smoked the peace pipe in Birmingham. Mr. Torto, can you assure us this peace is real and not that it was just a public relation photo shoot?
You see, my brother, sometimes I don't even know why people have to see different things of something that is not there. When we started, I said, look, in every family, the fact that we are members of the family all working towards the same goal doesn't mean we all have the same ideas. We all have the same way in which we handle things. But sometimes when different people actually express the ways in which they feel things should be done, people misconstrue that to mean they don't support or they are different. No, we are all one family. And so what happened in Birmingham was a reaffirmation of the fact that we are all one family and that we will always remain as one family. It wasn't us smoking a peace pipe. No, people weren't worrying. People weren't flying bullets and then going to say, look, we've settled the bullets flying. No, it was rather everyone actually reaffirming the fact that we are one family. We may have difference of views. We may have different ideas about the way things should be done or conducted, but we are one. And we know that. And we are reaffirming that. That is what happened at Birmingham.
Oh, okay. Well, that came from Uncle Eric because Birmingham, we were not part of it. And the last comment says, the bar is back. The bar Deborah says, Jerome, you raised a very important point on the filing fees. I commend you on your boldness to confront the issue. Our party needs to go back and consider if it is really a social democrat or not. Now, that we are very grateful for Ezunam, your comment. Now, Uncle Francis, you are going to the polls. Unfortunately, we cannot say on the 14th or the next weekend or whatever, but at the end of the day, you will go to the polls. And your name will appear on the ballot box paper as a candidate for the position of the vice chairman of the UK and Ireland chapter. You have the opportunity to speak to the membership of the chapter why they should elect you or why they should vote for you on the ballot paper against all the others for the position of the vice chairmanship. The opportunity is yours.
Okay. What I would say to all our prospective members who will be eligible to vote is that you carry in your hands the decision and the power to make the NDC UK and Ireland chapter greater or not, depending on the people that you select to lead you in future. I would humbly plead with you to give me your vote, because I can, with my hands on my heart, promise you that I'll deliver everything that I said I would do. I would ensure that the NDC UK and Ireland chapter stays united. I will ensure that our efforts to intensify fundraising becomes a reality. I will ensure that there's gender empowerment within the NDC UK and Ireland chapter. And last but not least, that I will ensure that every member of the UK and Ireland chapter is consulted, has a buy-in, and feel truly part of a movement that seeks to support both members of the party here in the UK and also back home. And so that is what I've got to offer. My experience and my knowledge about the UK and Ireland chapter and in my own field of engineering would also be brought to your disposal. I'm very, very proud of each and every member of the UK and Ireland chapter, and I'm very, very proud of the contributions all of us have made. I extend my gratitude and my respect to all our contestants. Each and every person that's contesting, I have met and known, and I say good luck to everyone.
Wonderful. Those were the words from no other person but Comrade Francis Torto, a candidate for the vice chairmanship of the UK and Ireland chapter. Kamla says, Francis, well done. And the bar ends it up saying that the NDC has been very busy competing with MPP. It began losing its identity. That's because we have chosen to follow those who can buy our votes. I believe strongly that after these elections, the UK Ireland chapter executive body will come together with all the other executives in the diaspora and see how best this point can be raised and drawn their attention to the national headquarters. It's a pleasure, Mr. Torto, of having you this evening, and we are very grateful that you have made time for us. To all our viewers up there, it's always great coming your way on this show, special edition focusing on the UK and Ireland chapter. Until we come your way again with another edition, it is a pleasure saying good night to all of you, and keep tight and keep sharing, and always join us on this special edition of MyView show. Thank you very much, and good night to you all.
Ya kana se wantia ejao ehenya beto mampam osontie so dogo vinwa bem mampam oso